don't want to find the time. I think now is not their time because they're not going to budge.
I like that. Hello and welcome to a different episode of the Kyl Reber podcast. This is a podcast where we have a talk to people who you may not know, but who are famous to me, and maybe after this podcast are famous to you. This is somebody who's already famous to me and is already famous on this podcast, but we're doing it a little bit different this time. This is no questions this time as such. No working through 1 to 10. We're just having a conversation about the most valuable resource that we have, yet the one that we take for granted the most, and that is time. And I thought there would be a good chance that this lady, that sounds weird, like calling you a lady. This chick knows a great deal about juggling time and is also in the business of trying to help the people she works with and for create time. So, Tammie Sarkozy, welcome back to the Kyl Reber podcast.
Hello, Kyl Reber. Thank you for having me back again.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's quite ironic because I literally was like breaking a land speed record and doing as much shit as I could this morning in order to have time to do this. And then you messaged me going, hey, you're going to send me this link? And I'm going, fuck it, I'm getting there, mate. I'm getting there. I'm doing it. For those who don't know, you've got 1 minute, name, what you do, where you are, where you're from, what the life of Tammie in like 3 sentences. Go.
My name is Tammie Sarkozy. I live in Townsville. I have a 1.5-year-old boy. I'm an online coach. I have a history of competitive CrossFit and bodybuilding. And does that sum it up?
Yeah. Online coach doing what?
Helping people with health and fitness.
Okay.
Typically on the most common client would be changing body composition.
Okay. So as we just said off air, if you check out your socials, there would be this impression formed that maybe you just get up in the morning, go for a wander with the kid, have a coffee, go to the gym, fuck around a little bit, then, do something else, and that's your day. It's clearly not the case, is it?
It's absolutely not the case.
Give me a day in the life of Tammie.
Well, a couple of days a week, we take Billy, my son, to daycare or his grandma. So those give me 3 pretty solid days of work, about, 2/3 of a day of work. Those are the days I get most done. To allow me to get that done, it's get up, take him about 7 o'clock, then walk the dog, and then knuckle down. On Thursday and Fridays, it's pretty much full-time mum. So if I am lucky on a Thursday and Friday, I will get anywhere between 1 and 3 hours of work in the day, if I'm lucky. Sometimes he doesn't want to sleep. So if that happens, who knows?
Now, being an online coach, like I said, you work from home. You're not in an office.
This is my office.
This is your office.
The spare room, yes.
I guess the thing like I'm trying to get to with this discussion, you as an online coach, you've got clients and I'm one of them. And as we said, one of the first things you'll say to your clients, how much time a day do you have to exercise? Now, I remember saying to you in our first encounter, I have 45 minutes. And from a guy, and again, it's practicing what you preach, I will say to my students and fighters and competitors and the kids all the time about finding time. But sometimes for me to just find 45 minutes to work out is like fucking a miracle from Jesus.
Yeah.
How do you try to combat that age-old, I guess, excuse when you're trying to work with your clients? Because they're coming to you, but now it's like, oh, you want me to spend time doing this?
Well, I figure step one, they've come to me, they're going to have to make a change. And if they don't want to make a change, don't know why they're paying me in the first place. So, having coached people for 14 years now, I have such good perspective on different lifestyles and what people are willing to do to get what they want, which is usually, hey, I want to lose some weight, I want to be healthier, I want to be more active, whatever it is, right? All of that involves doing some exercise. Now, I just did a check-in with a client who she works in the mines. Amazing girl, she's 21, right? She works 12-hour days. She gets up at 3 in the morning to train. 3 in the morning. So when someone who works this cushy little 9-to-5 job, no kids, I'm finding it hard to get the time. I'm just like, that just does not fly with me. That is just you not wanting to. And then we just look at solutions and try and negotiate it. Like, you start at 9. Why can we not get up at 7? Do the training, start the day, then you don't have to worry about it. Oh, that's so early. And it's like, pick your hard, choose your hard. We're saying that every day. Do you want to get up early and train and get what you want, what you came to me to achieve? Or do you want to just think that's too hard, I can't, and you're just stuck where you are, you're making no change? So we usually negotiate a way, and there has always been a way. Because like I said, they've come to me to begin with to make a change. We have to do it in your lunch break at work. For some people, that just might be a 30-minute walk. They're just building a habit of trying to get active. Other people, it's usually morning. Some people want to train at 8 or 9 p.m., which is just crazy to me, but that works for them. So we find a way, and to me, it's just a non-negotiable. If you came to me to make a change, you got to make the compromise.
With you, like, the other thing you probably forgot to mention too, like your partner, he's in the military, so he might often be away from home. So you're doing the single mum stuff as well. How often do you get the you don't know what it's like or the you don't understand? And how often do you want to grab the computer screen and just try and reach through and strangle them?
Look, I don't get it as much as I used to, I think, because I so publicly put it out there.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got Billy, and I do say quite a lot, my partner's in defence, he's away for 3 months, whatever. I think, people hire me probably because they followed me on social media, so they know my story. I think if anyone was to dare say that to me, I'd be like, mate, we are either not compatible.
I think we're done here.
Or no. No.
This is red flag at a bullshit.
Yeah.
So if you have somebody that is saying that they don't have the time, like you touched on before, okay, so if you can't train in the afternoons and you'll have to get up a little bit earlier, you seem to be a massive creature of routine. You like to have your non-negotiables. So going back to your interview, that morning walk is very important to you.
Yes.
However, a 1.5-year-old, God, I have a 14 and a 17-year-old. My routine still gets thrown out. But how do you deal with that? The routine getting blown out because, say, Billy suddenly is sick. So everything you had planned today is gone ski. So do you think sometimes when people are trying to set these patterns and routines, they go from doing nothing to like wanting to go to the gym 5 times a week, or as opposed, like you said before, just doing a 30-minute walk? You seem to be, I would say also, sometimes in your posts, you're almost contradictory. Like you're wanting people not to train stupid amounts of time. You're wanting them to just get, like, if you can get 3 sessions in, that's fucking brilliant.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think the message I want to put forward is in today's world, I encounter a lot of people, they come to me and they're training way too much. They're doing, 2 hours of training 6 days a week, but they're just doing stuff. Like, I'm going to do 2 F45 classes today. I'm going to go for a run tomorrow, and then I'll do some weights. And they're just doing stuff, but they're flogging themselves. Like, their intention is to annihilate themselves. There's no structure or method behind it, and they think it's going to work. Meanwhile, on the outside of training, they're run down. They're moody. They're losing hair. They've lost, females have lost their period. They don't understand why they're just not coping day to day, because in addition, their nutrition just doesn't match that sort of training because it's just too much, right? It's just overtraining. And so
that then leads to, I'll keep you going, but that would then lead to why some people think they don't have time because their interpretation of the time needed is too much time.
I think so. There's this misconception you've got to do all this cardio and then the weights as well. Like, it would be daunting. Like, how would anyone fit that stuff in? And I don't. Like, if I've learned anything after having a kid, because I have to fit most of my training into crate time, which is an hour. And depending on if Billy is happy or sad when he goes in, sometimes it's 35 minutes. It's more about the intensity and the quality and the structure of the training. So it's still hard. It is still hard training, but it's not, I'm not destroying myself mindlessly, like with the objective just to hurt and sweat. And I think that you can, depending on what your goals are and where you're at in life, but I would say 30 to 60 minutes of 3 to 5 days a week would get the average person to where they want to be.
Yeah.
If they had proper structure, the right intensity in the training, and got it out of their head that it needs to be like lots of running and just stupid psycho cardio.
Yep. Yep. So from a real world point of view, I think that's the thing too. Like, you would have these people, again, of this belief that the amount of time they need for things, it's also when they turn around and say they don't have that time, it's like, well, what are you doing instead of that?
Well, yeah.
Like I don't want to get up early, but I'll stay up till 11 o'clock at night and just mindlessly scroll through social media.
So we do talk about that.
And this this is not meant to be preachy, but you would probably have heard verbatim just this round robin of excuses, and you have your catalog of answers and arguments.
Yeah. I've probably got an answer for everything, to be honest. But I mean, at the end of the day, if someone comes to me to make change and they're saying, say, for example, what you've just said, they don't have time, but they'll stay up late doing things that don't serve their goal. I always say that, like, right, here is this person's goal. If what you're doing does not serve that goal, why are you wasting time doing that? So yes, you might find it relaxing to do your scrolling and whatever, and then you stay up at 11 o'clock when you could go to bed at 10 and then get up an hour earlier. But does scrolling serve that goal for you? Would you rather scroll every night and not lose the 10 kilos or whatever that you want to lose? Or do you want to make that compromise, dial it back an hour so you can get up an hour earlier? Like, what do you want? Do you want to make the change, or do you not want to make the change? Like, why are we here? And I think some people crave the hard work, to be honest.
Yeah. How, it's probably to get into a debate. Who are your best clients? Is there a better demographic of client at managing their time?
When I say this, there's still the exception to that, but I would definitely say that working mums. Okay. Because I feel like they have perspective of life of what's hard, and they're pretty good at managing their time already.
Yeah.
So I think for them, health and fitness is so important because usually they've not let themselves go, but put themselves last, and they're like, I need to make a change. I'm unhappy. They're so good at managing time, and they're much more mature minded. But in saying that, the 21-year-old girl I spoke about earlier works as a mind. She is unbelievable. 21 years old. Like, what 21-year-old focuses on nutrition, trains hard? She works 12-hour days. Like, she's amazing. She's a definite exception.
So what is different with her or her demographic? How does, and then there's the other 21-year-old who's still living at home with their parents on the couch and can watch a whole series of Netflix in a day. What is this? What do you think this girl's done differently, or what has been instilled in this person that makes them different?
Well, conveniently, bless her, she started CrossFit when she was 15.
Right.
So she has a background of training.
Yeah.
And because she's so young, and CrossFit really teaches you how to push yourself hard in training, right? So, and she already had good movement patterns. So we didn't have to spend time going through that. It was straight away we could get stuck in. She saw results straight away. And with her nutrition, it's not a very specific plan because she works in the mines. She's got to eat what she's given.
Yeah.
It's whatever's there for lunch, whatever's there for dinner. So we've just sort of discussed how to make good options.
Yeah.
How to make good options, what to, make your own breakfast, and here's what we can do on our days off. It's very, very loose, but compared to what she was doing, which, she did not have a clue with nutrition, all of these things aligned. She, in 4 or 5 months, she's seen huge strength gains, huge changes in her physique. Like, it's so motivating for her.
Yeah.
Because she put the work in from the start. She's got a good metabolism being so young. Whereas I think someone, let's just say they live at home, and for most people who are younger, they already look good, right? So there's no real hard incentive to stick to a nutrition plan.
Yep.
And training, it's like, oh, this is too hard. And they're not patient enough to see the results, to get like, wow, this is amazing. Yes, I want to keep going. And then it's just a knock-on effect. That's what I find is the problem with the younger people. Not a problem, but just it's just where they're at in life. They've got other things going on, fun stuff, go out party, whatever.
So we've worked through the time excuse as such. We've worked through trying to motivate people to make these changes. We have it happen here in the gym. Like, we'll get a person come in. I was only talking about one of these people yesterday, and they just come in and they just immerse themselves into it. And they're doing every training session. They're, doing 4 + 6 odd training sessions a week. And that's great for the first few months. And then they get the niggle, and then they get this, and then they dip off and they go. Like you said, you have someone who comes in who says they don't have enough time, and you're actually promoting them to not spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's a recommendation, but from someone who is doing this themselves now, slow and steady wins the race?
I do think so. I think for most people, you have to incorporate training gradually, because otherwise, for a lot of people, if you just, say like this, maybe this member, same case, if they go in so hard, all of a sudden, it's like it exhausts them. And because results don't happen quickly, they're putting in so much effort, and it's like mentally draining, right? And then they drop off. One little excuse is all it takes. One little thing, like an injury or something in their life happens, and that's all it takes to break that perfect streak of them doing everything. And then, I didn't reach perfection anymore. That's it. I'm not out the way. It's just too much too soon. I think people need to start with, And I always dial people back. Tammy, I want to do 5 days. I'm like, oh, how many training sessions are you currently doing? And they're like, I haven't really trained for 3 months. And I'm like, I reckon we start with 3. Oh, I'd love to do 5. Why don't we start with 3, and then after 4 weeks, if you can do all 3 every week, we'll take it to 4. Because it's so gradual that, if life stuff happens, they can still fit it in. They don't break what they see as perfection. The routine is still there. Oh, I was late at work, but I had to train 3 times this week. I can still do it. It's manageable. And then you're building on these things. So it's like it increases their tolerance for my demands to them, the training or nutrition, whatever it is. And then over time, you find what is the perfect balance for them. And then hopefully by then as well, you've sort of coached them through how to tackle when they've got injuries, when life stuff happens. Like, hey, mate, it's okay. If you can't train for a week, you will be fine.
Because you would have people out there, that, like, again, we keep saying don't use time as an excuse, but you'd have some people out there who are genuinely really fucking busy.
Yes, and I have many, many of those clients. I have 2 federal agents who will not tell me their actual jobs because they can't.
They can't. You don't have that level of clearance.
Yeah. These guys, one of them can drop off and I don't hear from her for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
There's a phone call, I'm overseas, right? That is their job. It's literally managing week to week for these people.
Yeah.
And we plan week to week. And that's just their life, and we got to work in with it. But, I mean, these are the busiest of the busy, and they do it.
I think so if I was to come to you and say, I don't have time, and I was kind of sticking to my guns, do you have like an exercise, or do you have a formula that you try to work on for someone who doesn't, just to try and prove to them maybe they have more time than they think?
Well, I would just ask them, okay, again, we've keeping in mind they've come to me because they want to train. And I have people that do say, I really don't have time. It's like they want to be probed. Like, I'm going to make this hard for you. Okay, so, tell me about your day. When do you get up? Does your workplace have a gym? What time do you come home? What do you do on weekends? Like, not many people work 7 days a week. And so we just have to find the little tiny crevices of space. And for some people, and I do have these clients, they are working mums and they might have 30 minutes during the week, and they'll say to me, I will not train on weekends because that's my family time. And I have to respect that. Right? Yeah. So 30 minutes for 3 times a week in their home gym with 5 dumbbells, a yoga mat, and a skipping rope. Right? These people are desperate for change. And it's my job to make it work. We find those crevices of time. And then I've just got to really reinforce that, hey, your time is limited. You have to prioritize these times. So you book it in your calendar like it's a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment, all right? Like you're going to go to lunch with a friend. You have to show up for yourself to do these things, because if you don't, you will never get that change you're asking for, the 10 kilo fat loss, the body transformation, the improvement in health. Maybe their doctor has said, if you don't start exercising, you're in some serious trouble. Book it in with yourself. Let's see how you go this week. Let's talk about it next week at our check-in. If there's speed bumps, challenges, we got to figure it out.
Would you say a lot of your clients, when it comes to time, again, God, if we did 5 burpees every time I said time, would you say a lot of your clients with time, or when they come to you, they're reactive over proactive?
No, most of them are proactive because, you know, I'm not cheap to work with. You got mates rates, so lucky. Otherwise, I'm not cheap to work with. And if they're going to invest that money, they've already made that positive step to like, I have to make a change. And, you know, some people do drop off because for them it is just too hard. I still stand by the fact that, you know, everyone can find that time.
Yeah.
They just don't want to wake up earlier, or, you know, if family time is on the weekends, why don't you do stuff with your family that involves them?
Do you know, that's what I was going to say before, and this is just our logic and our family's logic. We've always made it work because I think we just don't want to miss out. We were talking about this on the week, and we had Friday, we went to a show with the girls. Then up early Saturday morning, Helen and I were up north teaching seminars and training. And then Sunday, Ivy had a comp on the Gold Coast and we went to that. And then Monday, we're back working again. We could just another weekend in the Reber household.
Yep.
But I think that's not to say, like, I'm not saying that like we're better than anyone else. I think we just work on this is us spending our time better. Like we will have, and you know, all due respect, we'll have parents in here, or you'll talk about a competition, and we're in Brisbane, and it's like, oh, it's at the Gold Coast, which is an hour away, and they go, oh, that's a bit far. We'll wait and see if, you know, it's like, yeah, but your kid could go in that, and they could do really well, but I guess that's then their value of that's that time. But like I get to, if you're not using the time to do that, then what are you actually doing on Sunday? You're just going to sit in front of the TV? Like,
well,
are you
that's the other thing. Like, if we're real about it, you know, when people don't often use those lines with me, we're like, oh, I'm too busy on the weekend with family stuff. I would question, so in those 2 days, you're telling me, 2 full days, you're doing stuff with the entire family. Yeah. I'm exhausted after like playing with Billy for 1 hour.
Like, that kid is training.
Like, you know, there is time in there where you are going to be chilling out watching TV for an hour and a half, and that's fine. However, let's just say this person, you get the I need downtime, and it's like, I understand you want downtime, right? But I also understand that you are trying to make a change with your health. Which one is more important? Like, and if the downtime's more important, then we shouldn't even be having this conversation. Like, you've come to me for a change. You need to budge somewhere.
It's even that word, isn't it? Like we say down time, and like even the kids will do it. Oh, I just want to sit down for 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, I say it all the time.
And 5 minutes turns into 30. But it's funny, like just getting them, you know, say, oh, let's just go for a walk. Or like Ivy gets up in the morning and takes one of the dogs for a walk. It's your definition, isn't it, of what your downtime is too, isn't it? You know, is your downtime sitting in front of, you know, the TV binging 5 episodes of something in a row of Netflix?
Yeah. And you know what? When I do that, not that I ever get through 5, but let's say I get to 1.5, I feel like shit afterwards.
I feel guilty.
I'm like, guilty. Like I've wasted my time. I feel like you know, you get claustrophobic. Like, I need to be doing something productive, and I need to move.
Yeah.
Do something. And then I question as well, you know, for people that want the downtime, or they just want 5 minutes time out, whatever it is. If we strip everything back and you look at this person's quality of life, how good they feel on a daily basis, their health, you know, if they were to spend more time investing in exercise, whether that's going for a morning walk, like I'm not saying every human on the planet has to train like me or train weights, even though there's many reasons why you should, but either way, maybe walking is just where we're at. And you know, spend a bit more time doing, you know, grocery shopping or preparing better meals, your entire life would upgrade. You would
Mm.
feel better. Your mood would be better every day. Your health would improve because you invested more time in something productive for yourself. So while it feels like more effort, which it is, in turn, your quality of life is better. So you weigh it up. Which one's better?
We were having a conversation before we started recording about COVID. So you working in a gym space during COVID.
Oh, we weren't even allowed in the gym. I was training people in the park.
So well, that's what I was getting at. How did that work? Because COVID, some of us went from having no time to all the fucking time. Were
Yeah.
you still encountering people having issues with time even in COVID?
Strangely, almost every single one of my clients wanted to train in the park with me. And it wasn't even my idea. It was like a demand. It was, what are we going to do, Tammy?
Do you think the
And I
training
think,
was the training secondary? Was just spending time with somebody?
yes, for some people, it was like, this is really good for my mental health because I am otherwise at home on my own. This one poor client, poor guy, he was quite unhealthy, quite overweight, and COVID forced him to work really long hours by himself. And you could just tell, and he would admit it, but when he came in to train with me twice a week in a park in winter in Brisbane, there's like frost on the grass. He was just happy to be connected to another human being.
So where I'm going with this is how we choose to spend our time will affect more often than not how we feel. B, if we feel better, are we using our time better?
I think that you would. I really do. I think when you feel good, I don't know about you, but when I feel really good, I want to be doing stuff.
I'm
I
fucking,
don't want
I'm
to.
charged. Like, I'm like, "Come on, what can I do now? What can I do now? What can I do now?"
Exactly. It's like there's something in you that it's like, right, what can we do? What can I do that's good for me? What can I do that's productive? Like, I don't want to waste my time on a Sunday. We bust our asses during the week. I'm not spending that time sitting on a couch watching Netflix that I'm not even interested in because I'm scrolling my phone at the same time. I want to get outside. I want to do stuff with my family. Like it makes you more productive with your time. You spend it better. That I truly believe that because that's me.
Well, I have like, so on that, when people say like time and they go on holidays,
Mhm.
and you're probably one of the more active people on holidays that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Is that A, you're trying to make use of the time, but B, you're also trying to, because again, this would be the thing, the argument, oh, look, you don't have to go full on like that. You're on holidays.
Yeah.
But does that mean that when you get back into the real world, you're not spending the next 2 or 3 weeks chasing your tail,
That is the major part of it. Like if you can probably connect to this, if you've been injured or something's happened and it's taken you out of training for 2 or 3 weeks,
Yep.
the comeback is hell.
Hard.
It is not worth it. And clients will say it to me as well. They're like, I went on holidays for 6 weeks and I came back and it was so hard getting back into it. A, building the routine again is very hard, and B, doing the stuff is hard. Like if you were fit, you're not fit anymore. Like building that back up is hard and it's frustrating. So for me, when I go on holidays, I definitely don't train anywhere near as much. I might do like 3 sessions. We might go to a local gym or a local CrossFit box, which, I've been to CrossFit boxes all over the world and I love it because you then meet really cool people and they take you to really cool places. They'll take you to cool places around the town or city that you're in. So that adds another element to the holiday,
Because it's
or
funny, like
otherwise.
you see people like go on holidays and they'll like fucking just sit in their room and watch TV, or they'll sit and watch a movie. And for me personally, I'm like this too. Like I'm like, oh, I'll go for a walk, or we'll go and have a look around. And it sometimes is like, I don't know. It's again this whole chat to you has been about time, and I think I use my time. I think I could use my time better, but I think it's what are you using your time for? And on holidays, I feel better at the end of the holiday than doing that, as opposed to like, you know, sitting at the buffet 3 times a day, just seeing how much food I can ingest.
Yeah. It really comes down to what you value the most, right? You know, people, I do get a lot of people, they're like, why do you have to train on holidays? And it's like, it's not that I have to, it's I genuinely want to. Like, it is such a it's like you get up in the morning and Chris is a fitness fanatic, right? When we were in Japan, we were training in the tiny hotel rooms that there would be like 2 by 1 square meters on the floor, and we would do a 20-minute session in that space, and Chris is sweating like an animal and it's disgusting, and I'm like, this is so gross.
This
So
is not a
stupid.
holiday.
It's so stupid. And then, it's 8 o'clock, we go get breakfast. It's like you're injected with a ton of energy. It's like, okay, you can go out in the world today with this much energy, or do a stupid hotel dumb workout and then have this much energy.
Yeah.
It's like it just mentally and physically charges you for a better day. And it costs us 20 minutes.
Mm.
And for me, it's worth it. And I get to stay fit. I get to do something right for my body. I get to do a dumb workout with my partner. Like, I think it also gives me the right to coach my clients, to encourage them to do that. And 95% of them want to do that when they go away as well.
Yeah.
They want to.
Because you've bred that sort of habit into them?
Yeah, and I think, we work so hard to be fit or to build muscle. 2 weeks and it starts to decline, and a week off training and you can tell.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose it. They've spent, some people years of their life getting to where they are, and then just to drop that fitness back after, not that they lose it completely, but you know what I mean? Like, they want to keep what they've got. It means something to them. Have the best of both worlds. Do a tiny bit of training, enjoy your holiday, everyone wins.
So the next question, as we said before, you love the routine. Yes. I guess it's twofold. Well, yes or no, there would be days where that alarm goes off and you go, I don't feel like fucking doing today.
No.
How does that not happen then?
I don't actually, when I was a PT, I did, and it had nothing to do with my clients. Like, I had amazing clients. It was the fact of getting up my alarm would go off at 4:20 in the morning, and I was genuinely tired, right? Now my life is completely different. I usually get up anywhere between 6 and 7 a.m. Some nights, 2 nights ago, Billy woke up 5 times screaming his head off. So the sleep was not amazing. Last night, he slept all the way through, so I'm like super refreshed. But I guess one aspect of my life, I am lucky. I do work from home, and the first part of my day is not rushed. We either get Billy ready to go for daycare, then I walk the dog, and by that time when I come back, it's 8:30, 9 o'clock. Like, I've been able to ease into the day, whereas before, 4:20, get up, get myself ready, drive off to the gym, and you've got to be on, happy, excited for your clients.
Yeah, right.
Now I can really ease into it, and like, without sounding cheesy, I've got this awesome little dude, Billy, who I get to see every morning. Like,
That's
It's
not cheesy.
nice.
I
It's
mean,
nice.
it's
Have
probably,
such,
it's a
yeah.
reminder, I think, yeah, because the second part of my question was, what's your advice? Like we spoke before, you have this routine, it's all set, you've got it all in the calendar, and you wake up and Billy's sick, so he can't go to daycare. How do you combat the fuck? This is fuck. Now I've got to do this. I got to shuffle that to that, because that would be to a lot of people happening nearly on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And that is probably one of their major precursors when they go, look, I just can't lock in to a time.
Yeah. Well, okay, you've got people who work from home, which is me, and then you've got people who have like their job and their child's in daycare, right? So if their child is sick and they, now they can't go to work or there's no one else, for those people, now they're just full-time mum for that day, right? You accept that. That is what it is. Maybe you can take them out for a walk, and that's really for them, probably more than you. Maybe, given that you're not working now, or maybe you can take your work home, I don't know. Do they sleep in the day? And kind of wiring your brain, right? Take every opportunity that you can. You're home from work today. People can't expect you to work when you've got a sick kid. Like, that's inhumane, right? So do they sleep in a day? If they do, go and do a bodyweight workout in the shed. Like, if that is a priority to you and you want to keep a habit, see, that would be me. I'm all about keeping the habit. Otherwise, wait till your husband gets home, if someone is there to come home, and do your training then, right? If you're me, who works from home and I don't just get a day off, it's a matter of, I just give in. There's nothing I can do. This is it. I have learnt with a kid, a toddler, baby, you can't do two things at once.
Well, because recently I think you hurt your back, you were injured recently.
No. When am I ever not injured? Yeah.
And then we were meant to do this a week ago.
I was sick, yeah, last
and you
week.
got sick.
Yeah.
This is where, like, and for me, I admittedly struggle with this, because I'm like, fuck, I had this big fucking plan, and then it's just bang. And I think now, maybe finally that acceptance is like, I just can't get to it today. Like, yes, on Monday I was like fired up. I'm going to do this, then this, get to the gym, boom, boom, boom. And just everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. And it got to about 2:00 and I'm like, I'm not getting fucking anywhere near the gym today.
It's just, I think sometimes, and like, if you are someone who, you consistently do the stuff that you need to do for whatever your goal is in whatever element of life, right? If you're consistently going to the gym, if you're consistently eating well, what is a day or two or three or four off? Like, it's nothing in the scheme of things, because you've always been consistent and you will come back. For people who are trying to build a routine, it's a lot harder, because they may not come back because they haven't really built that routine. But for me, for someone who works at home, if Billy is sick or if I am sick, I have learned I have to focus on only one thing or the other. Doing two is just pure frustration, right? So if I'm sick, like, I'm not going to train. I called off everything that day that I cancelled this with you, because I'm like, what is better, a half version of me?
Yeah.
Or
Do
a
I
full version of
limp
me
through it?
later?
Yeah. And I think that's just, that's definitely the thing. You've just got to accept you're going to have those days.
Yeah, that's life. And that's the other thing, right? Like, perfection, people have to let go of perfection. Like, your members, they're all or nothing to start with, and they have this amazing streak and it's great. And then
how many times have you seen that in CrossFit? That first 12 months.
Yep.
And then is that person still there in 2 years?
No. Yeah. And in most things, right? People, as soon as something breaks that perfect streak, they're done. And it's like, guys, it does not exist. Stop expecting that you can train every day. Stop expecting that You're not going to be late at work, or you're not going to get sick. You're not going to get injured. Like this is life. Shit happens. Deal with it. Pick it up where you left off, but just let that be. It's going to happen.
So I guess the final thing, what would be 5 things, 5 pieces of advice to give to somebody who is being resistant, but having either trouble finding the time, doesn't believe they have the time, or maybe doesn't even want to find the time?
If they don't want to find the time, I think now is not their time, because they're not going to budge.
I like that.
Yeah, they're just not ready. And I've met lots of people like that. Like, think of friends or family that have said, "Oh, I would love to have this body or lose this weight or be healthier," but when it's friends and family, you don't push them. Okay, because friends and family, you approach them differently. They're just not ready right now. And often those people, when they are 6, 12, 3 years later, that is when they're ready. It's just, you've kind of, your headspace has to be right for it. Otherwise, they're doing something they don't want to do. Can you imagine training or going to the gym and you hate it every time? You're just not going to last.
You just don't go.
Yeah, so now is not their time. And in the case the doctor has said, "Hey, if you don't do something, you will die." Like, I've actually had clients where, they might be diabetic, you will die. If you don't move, you're going to be in a wheelchair. Like, this is real stuff, right? They have to. And that's more of a case of, mate.
And even then, people are reluctant.
Yeah. And I think, without sounding really harsh, like, I mean this, I really, really genuinely mean this. Some people need to see counsellors and psychologists to sort this out first, get their life right, their heads right first, get the underlying issues nailed, or, at least get on top of them a little bit better, then do this stuff. So that would be their priority. Hey, I don't have the time. They're really resisting it. There's a reason they're really resisting it. Why? Why do you not want to, when the doctor has said to you, if you don't move, you're going to die, why do you not want to do it? Like, you go see other people that can help you with that element of health first.
Has there ever been conversations that you've had to have with prospective clients of that nature?
Nah.
When they've contacted you, they're ready to go. Or they want to go.
They usually are. There's always a few that kind of just drop off the radar for a while, and it's hard to know what to do with them. Like, all right, if I push this person too much, they resist. If I give them space, they come back. Sometimes they don't. Like, it's really hard. And at the end of the day, really comes down to this person. Like, I'll give you, you know what it's like. I give you the tools. I am here to help you. If you don't want to utilize me, what do I do? This is in your hands. It's ultimately down to you.
So that person who can't find the time, doesn't believe they have the time, what's your nuggets for them, nuggets of advice?
So the ones that don't believe they have the time, so not the ones we just spoke about.
Yeah. So someone's coming to you, but they go, "Oh, look, I want to," like, one thing that springs to mind that you're talking about a lot is probably quality over quantity.
100%. I would look, if we can only get 3 20-minute sessions in your week, I will be stoked. And I think most people anyone can, let's be real, anyone can do that, right? And then it's up to me to give them that quality session, right? And then we look at the intensity, make sure they're actually doing what is needed, not just fluffing about.
Yeah.
Everyone can do that. And then I think when people realize, hey, I'm getting this in, I'm getting these 20 minutes in, I reckon I can do 30. I might even be able to do 4 days. All right, let's up it. Let's get that habit built. Let's see that, can you still see me right now? Because this other person, yeah, cool. Let's see if you can stick to that habit. Let's see if you feel good. Let's see if you enjoy it. And you know what? Sometimes they want more. They're like, wow, this opened my eyes. This exercise stuff's actually not as bad as I thought. And it's not me throwing shit around, sweating like a maniac, doing all these fucking high rocks, F45, crazy shit that takes a long time. All has a place, FYI. I'm not bagging it. I'm just saying it sets this unrealistic standard for some people. Okay, this is doable for me. This is great. Let's go 30 minutes. You know, they find that it is not as bad as they thought, which was bringing that resistance. They do have the time because we have managed it. They have the support. They've got me to help them navigate through. Oh, this week I can't do this, and this day. What do we do? Right. Let's plan it for XYZ day. Right? You can't go to the gym that day. I just want you to go for a run, go for a walk, do this Tabata session at home. And I think these people, they really just, they need to be, I wouldn't say handheld, but they just really need someone to do the brain work.
Do they need to be, I don't know, assured that they can do it? Like,
yes.
Because yeah, that's probably the other thing that made me think then, like how you said that start small.
Start small. Always start small.
You know, when I went through a fair bit of injury and health stuff last year, I was just going for a walk. You know, like I just go for half an hour walk.
Yep.
It was like, well, fuck, this is better than nothing.
Yes. And I do have clients where stuff happens in their life, like, you know, some real life stuff, you know, a death in the family or something. Training for this particular person, it's just, they can't do it. They don't have the mental space for it. All right, how about we just keep the routine? You know, you're training 4 times a week. Instead of doing the gym, just go for a walk.
Yeah.
Keep that same time and go for a walk. Use that time for yourself. It's a reward for you, for your health, because during this time, you still need to do things for you. And that works amazing for them. They want the support. They want to still feel like they're being proactive towards their goal. And then when they're feeling ready, because I'm not like, go fucking train, you know, there's nothing like, you have to do this.
You don't go all David Goggins on them and like.
No, I don't. They just want the support and guidance to help them navigate through the life stuff so that they get the goal. When they're ready to come back, we take it at their pace. You know, and I always am very clear with them, you know, if we do this, it's just a pause for your goal, okay? If it's weight loss, we're just going to pause for 2 or 3 weeks and we're just going to do some other stuff. It's just a pause, but a pause is better than going backward.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, okay. And they love it. Like they just need, that's what they need, the support.
3 other pieces or anything else?
Habits, building your habit was, you know, essentially the routine. I think that is key because when you first start, and I remember when I first started going to the gym at Good Life, way back, this would be 15, 20 years ago, I'd go once or twice a fortnight and I'd be like, why am I not seeing changes?
Is this back when we were arguing about you doing push-ups because your arms would get too big?
This was pre then. And I couldn't, like, I'm going to the gym, I'm not seeing changes, but it was so hard for me. And I remember I was literally lying on the couch. It's 5 o'clock. I should go to the gym. It's 5:30. I should go to the gym. It's 6:15. Nah, too late. And that was me. Like, I get it because I had built a routine. So in my head was so much effort. And then when you build the routine gradually, it's not really.
That's like, the key word, isn't it? Gradually.
Gradually, yeah. When I go to the gym, I rarely think, oh my gosh, what am I in for? It's literally just, all right, I've got to be at the gym at 10, get dressed, get in the car, off I go, do the stuff, come back, all right, it's back to work now. It's just a thing I do in the day.
Yeah.
Just a thing. It is so embedded in my life that it's routine. It is a habit. there's no like anxiety or anything about it.
Yeah, it's like a not an event, but it's part of the day, isn't it? I have
Part
lunch
of the
and go to the
day.
gym. Yeah.
And it always served me better. Like I really do wish people could feel that benefit that, say for me, I work from home. Going to the gym is an hour break in the day. When I come back, I'm way more efficient at work. I'm like, yeah, getting shit done because I've had a break from sitting where my posture is suffering. My brain can only take so much. I'm not born to be a laptop.
Mm.
It is a break and it makes me more productive. And I feel unreal afterwards. I'm a nice person. Like,
It's
it helps
funny.
my day flow.
It's funny you say that. Like I went to the gym today. I got up early, or early for a Wednesday. Um, got up, took the girls to school, had coffee with a mate, went to the gym, and just for whatever reason, just felt like I had a buzz. And I was like, I'll go in and do some work, but I'd had in my head that I was going to mow the lawn, and I went, I'll just check the whippersnipper. Before I know it, I'd done all the fucking edges, done it, and I'd mowed the front and the backyard. And I'm like, listen to two fucking podcasts. I went, where the fuck did that happen?
Hey,
Hence,
Kyle, you
hence why.
actually work?
Yeah, I know, right? That is work. Hence why you're messaging me going, hey, dude, where's the Zoom link? And I'm like, I'm fucking covered in shit from the yard. I'll get to that. But I felt like I went from, and I was like, just fuck it. I'll just do it now. Like as opposed to if I probably maybe gone and just sat on the computer or whatever, I still would have got work. But just having that buzz, which I guess leads to the last one.
Yeah.
There is definitely, you can see with you, you are always so full of life and so bouncy and whatever other adjective just to say, like you're just into it.
Yeah.
You would definitely see, like you said, you get injured, as much as anyone else that trains a lot.
More. I'm more injured than probably you.
Probably.
Yeah.
You lift a lot of heavier shit than me. I just have people trying to kill me.
Yeah.
You definitely would feel it in your brain when you are forced to take that week off or whatever. There is that acceptance, but you could almost feel a shift in what's going on up here from not being able to do what you love.
Yeah, and it's literally the routine, the habit that I'm so set by is broken. But I'm pretty good at coming to terms, like because I am very hard, well not hard, but when my clients are sick, I am like, if you even step foot in that gym, we like that's it. I'm taking your program out for this week.
We're
You
going to
can't
have a discussion.
Yeah. No, I tell them, like, I'm very strong on that. Do not train until you've had a full day of 150%. And I roll with that too, just because I know there's just no point. Like, I know too much logic about it that there's no point. And I just, I'll still go for the walk. Like, Ralphie, my dog, who I don't know where he is now, didn't come back. He, that walk with him, I don't really call that exercise for me personally, in contrast. But it's still moving, it's still getting outside, but I'm pretty at peace with having to rest.
But I guess the big thing is by you making that time to exercise, it actually, as we've discussed a few times now, it kind of gives you more time or better use of the time that you have left.
Yes, that is a good point. When I was sick last week, I stood by my rule, one full 100% day of feeling better before you go back. And I mean, I'm at work and I really was like halfway through the day and I'm like procrastinating. I'm like, I don't want to do this. My shoulder's hurting from sitting at the desk. And I'm like losing interest in what I'm doing. And I'm like, that is the benefit of training for me, is that break, mental break, physical break. Like I said, my posture, train, it's like, woo, ready to go again. Definitely more productive. 100% more productive when I train in a day than when I don't.
Yeah. Tammie, thank you for your time. It's we're going to do a few more of these with people just asking questions. And yeah, I always look at your socials and as we said, people would go, fuck, does he actually work? But I can see how you are making, you are making all the pieces fit. But in this chat, you've been obviously very vulnerable to say that it doesn't always fit, but it's about trying to make it fit. It's not meant to fit all the time.
But like we said with training, it's quality over quantity, right? So if I'm sick, I'm not didn't show up to the podcast with you. I cancelled my clients. I had posing clients that day. I cancelled with them. I'm not giving quality. So for me, don't bother. I cannot be my best, except I am not my best today. Give people my best. Give them my genuine time. Yeah. Same with training. Instead of doing 2 hours of fluffing about, give an hour or 45 or whatever it is, quality training, and make, I guess, I try to apply all of that to my life. Like, give your best in every way. I kind of went off on a tangent there, but
but it's true. I mean, even when I was at the gym today, like I'm moving boxes and setting up barbells, and I look across and there's 3 guys all sitting at equipment just scrolling on their phones, and I'm like, yeah, I got places like, what are you
doing? And I can tell you their intensity is not there.
it's just
not there.
But maybe one day, for whatever reason, their lives will change to a point where they maybe have more appreciation for the time they do or don't have.
Well, you know what? You nailed it. When you are short of time, I think you give it more because you have no choice.
It's that age-old rule, isn't it? If you want something to get done, you give it to a busy person because they'll find the time to do it.
Literally, that is what it is. That's what you should focus on.
Tammie Sarkozy, thank you for your time. If people want to find you and deep dive into the world of Tammie, how do they do that?
You can jump on my Instagram, which is Tammie Sarkozy _fitness pro. Do I have to spell my name?
Probably.
TAMMIESARKOZY _fitness pro, and you'll see everything health, fitness, mum related, and hopefully, maybe you'll get something out of it.
Excellent. I really value your friendship. I've known you now for long time. 20 plus years now.
Dinosaur years.
Yeah, it'd be something like that. And thank you as always for volunteering your time.
Thank you so much for asking. I feel, I got a little buzz. I'm like, oh, he wants me to be on his podcast.
Yeah, you're the only double performer.
Oh, stop it.
Stop it.
You ride that way all day.
You had me at hello. All right. Guys, thank you for listening. You can go to my Instagram, which is very simple. It's just Kyl Reber. And you can sorry, I'll spell that. KYLREBER. Sorry. 3 letters and they fuck it up. But you've got the podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Listen, share. If you like it, pass it on to other people. But thank you for your time. And Ms. Sarkozy, we will be out and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.